Good morning. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Larry. Costly retirement mistakes. I mean, let's face it. When we're retired, we can't afford to make any major mistakes with our finances. But I'm going to list a few of them here. I'm sure I've left some of them out. Maybe you all can help me out on some of these. Now, as a disclaimer, if you've got lots of money and want to do all these things, any or all of these things, then go for it. I would never try to tell anybody else how to spend their money. However, if money's a little tight, like it is with us sometimes, most of the time actually, uh, we need to be a little careful in retirement. And that's what this video is all about. One of the first mistakes people make is they spend too much too soon. It feels like a vacation. When you first retire, it just feels like a vacation. And sometimes we overspend like we're still working. I didn't have this problem. I didn't have this problem because I didn't have the money. Now, when I was working as a self-employed contractor, if we had a good week, if I had a good week and was doing really well, yeah, we'd go out to eat, maybe do a few things. But if we had a bad week or didn't make near as what I thought I should have, then we just kind of cut back. We just kind of cut back. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. Like I said, I didn't have this problem because I kind of eased into retirement, so I slowed down over the last couple of years that I actually did work. I did my last job last April. So I kind of eased into retirement. So it was something we've kept our eye on. But you can't overspend as soon as you retire unless you've got lots of money. And a lot of people do that. Another big problem that people have, it's a costly mistake, is taking Social Security at the wrong time. Is there a wrong time? No. Is there a right time? No, I don't think. This is an individual decision that you're going to have to make. There are tons of videos on YouTube about the advantages and disadvantages at 62, the advantages and disadvantages at full retirement age, and I'm not going to get into all that. You have to do what's right for you. I've seen it both ways. Um, I had one friend who took it at 62. He was still working at the time. He was in sales, so it wasn't a big thing. But he'd already had one heart attack, and I asked him why he started taking it so soon. And he said, "Well," he said, "I want to at least collect some of the money in case I drop over dead one of these days." And I could kind of see his reasoning with that. And he's doing fine now, and it's all good. But then the other end of that spectrum, I had a friend who he got laid off by a very large company when he was right before retirement. He was at 63 or 64, something like that. And he was planning on working until 70, but then he got laid off. Then he took a year off of that. I don't know why he did that, but that's his business. And he decided to go back to work. He wasn't quite ready to retire yet, and financially, he didn't think he was ready. And his mom lived to be in her 90s, so he thought he might live a long time. He's my age. He's 72 now, I guess. So he worked for a big box retailer until he turned 70, and then he retired. Well, pretty good plan, except for one problem. He came down with cancer within a year after he retired. He was diagnosed with cancer. Now he's in remission and everything's fine and he's doing well. He may live to be in his 90s, but that was a decision he had to make for himself personally. Another thing is not planning on costly retirement mistake. It's not planning on healthcare costs. Uh, Newsflash, we don't usually get healthier as we get older. Things start to go wrong, and it seems that they go wrong at an increasing pace. And there are some costs. We have Medicare, we have Medicare Advantage plans, we have Medicare supplement plans, and they're all different. This, again, is an individual decision. We went with a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, I'll catch some flack on this one because a lot of people think they're terrible. I've had it for 6, 7 years now, and we've never had an issue with it, actually. In fact, about a year ago, I had what's called an ablation. My heart was strong. Everything was working right. Zero stents, zero blockages. Um, but I had a wiring problem, is the way the cardiologist explained it. He stitched up a few things. It's an invasive procedure. He didn't have to cut into me or anything. It's a in and out one day type thing. And it cost me a total of $275. And the bill, oh my gosh, the bill, they accidentally charged the insurance company $5 too much, so they sent me a copy of the bill. I about fell out of my chair when I saw that bill in an email, $130,000. and it cost me $275. So I can live with that. Now this may change in the future. I don't know, but so far it's working for me. Another costly mistake is we ignore inflation. Just about anybody watching this video has lived with inflation our whole life. And it's always been there, but we can cut costs wherever we can, and that's what we're doing. For example, we had one insurance company for years and years, probably 30 years. Our cars, our home, a couple other small policies, and just recently we changed insurance companies. It was a big decision. I got to tell you, it was a big decision. Now, did we save money? Yes, we saved a few bucks, a few dollars, but more importantly than that, we got better coverage, especially on the home. So we saved a few bucks there, so it's all good. Another major costly retirement mistake is keeping all your money in cash. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I play one on YouTube. I'd probably be the last guy you'd want as a financial advisor. I'm not a very smart man, but I know that every year that I have money sitting in an account, if it's $1,000 right now, next year this time, it's not going to buy $1,000 worth of whatever, because it's going to lose its purchasing power, and I know that. Now, there are some places that you can store your cash, money markets, CDs, but that's a choice you have to make. That's a choice you have to make. Another big thing is carrying debt in retirement. Carrying debt. No debt in retirement gives you a ton of options. Homes paid for, cars are paid for. They're old, but they're paid for. Carrying no debt just gives options. And the financial advisors say this is a big thing. Get rid of debt before you retire. I had a good friend of mine. I had my real estate license about 10 years ago, and he wanted to sell his house. I said, fine. He'd lived there like 40 years, and I went in to list his house, and we looked at the house, and I talked to them, and I said, so can I assume this house is paid for? He said, oh, no. I said, I should have kept my mouth shut. I said, why? What's going on here? He said, well, my one daughter needed this, my other daughter needed that. And they took out home equity loans and lines of credit and yada, yada, yada. And they came away with very little cash after the sale, very little. But they survived it and they moved on. It turned out well for them, but that's a big financial mistake. Another big mistake people make, and I know I'll catch some flack on this one, is helping their kids out, to their adult children, helping them out too much. I, for one, never did that. My sons knew from the time they could understand what the words coming out of my mouth, it was not my job to send them to college if they wanted to go. If they wanted to go, they would find a way. And they all three found a way. They all three graduated. Now, I did help them, not financially, not direct money in their hand, but I did help them financially in several areas. My oldest son was a Marine. He was a short timer. He was about 6 months from getting out of the Marines. Navy Federal would not give him a loan for a new truck, or for a used truck, actually. And because he was a short timer, and the local banks wouldn't give him a loan because he was in the Marines. So I co-signed for that loan, and he paid me off within 6 months after he got out. He paid me off. Of course, he was working for me, so I kind of had control of his paycheck a little bit. Plus, I also helped him rehab two houses, a condo and a house that he moved into. My other son, I helped him. He was in jail. He was a self-employed contractor. He's doing so well these days, but he was a self-employed contractor at the time. He's just getting started, and he ran into a financial jam, and he never asked me for money, but I knew he was hurting really bad. I said, hey, how about if I give you this, and then when the time comes, that house, over on such and such a street, I said, you can paint the outside of that for me in exchange. And he jumped all over it. So it was a win-win. I saved some money getting the exterior painted. I could have done it myself. He knew that. But I gave him some money, and he earned it. He earned every nickel. Then my youngest son, this is a good case. My youngest son, I never gave him any money for anything. But when he bought his first house, I painted the whole inside of his house. Then I painted the whole outside of his house. I sprayed it. It was aluminum siding. I sprayed it. And then I cleaned and refinished his deck. It was quite a big job, actually. I had some help. I had one of my guys help me on that one. And so I did a lot of work for him for free. And then he sold the property like 2 or 3 months later. That's all good. So I did help them, but I never actually put cash in their hand. They've never asked me to loan them any money because they knew what the answer would be. But that's just the way I do it. You can do it any way you want to. Another big costly mistake is failing to adjust lifestyle. Like I said earlier, we've adjusted a lot of things in retirement. We just don't spend money on certain things, and that's just the way you have to do it. Am I lacking anything as far as my lifestyle? No, I don't think so. It's all good. Uh, but we just change our lifestyle a little bit. But one of the big things here, and last and not least, is not having any kind of estate plan. We all know people who loved ones have passed away. There's no will. There's no instructions. They don't know what to do. They don't know. They're lost, and it really causes a lot of problems, a lot of financial problems actually. So I made a video about that earlier. Important papers, and one was called important papers to keep, and another one was what to do when your spouse passes. And these are costly mistakes that we just can't afford to make in retirement. That's about all I've got for right now. If you got anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. Until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.